Today is the 8th of April 2025 and there is news! W! Hooray, hooray, hooray! So, Zika's recently posted on his Patreon and I'm just going to read it out and I'll give my commentary on the side, kind of give some insight into it. So here we go. Hello, progress on Lethal Company has stayed very steady and is going well. For this update I'm focusing on new tiles for the existing interiors, aiming at 10 new tiles for each. This is already insane. 10 new tiles for each interior is crazy and will definitely make every playthrough much cooler and more diverse. For the mansion, I've made 5 new tiles so far. A few of these are cap tiles, which cap the ends of branches so that rather than just a simple dead end, there's sometimes an interesting room serving as a destination. For example, bedrooms, garages, etc. usually don't have 2 doorways in and out, even though those are the rooms I thought would be most interesting. This is really cool. It makes dead ends a lot cooler than just being a random bit of wall you get to at the end of a corridor with zero loot in them. He actually shared screenshots of one of these too. Here's the garage, and although it hasn't been textured yet, it's already looking really cool. This is another tile he showcased being a really cool looking staircase thing. It's nothing too special, but it's really nice for adding variety, and honestly, super exciting for me. If I'm gonna be honest, even though it's just some stairs, it still looks cool, if I get this in a run, I'm happy, bro. I'm like, oh my god, new content. Any new content. I'm starved, bro. I'm starved of content. I'm making a point of adding lots of interactable props into these rooms also. Ideally, it should feel like scrap can be hiding anywhere. I would like more interactivity with the environment. This is super interesting, meaning there are going to be holdable items that don't have credit values, kind of like keys. But for this screenshot, I think the bin could maybe be involved somehow, and while I don't think the car will be drivable, I do think it could be possible that you'll be able to use it somehow, considering he wants players to be able to interact with stuff more. Maybe you could flipping honk the horn or something. Also had to shrink the size of every tile in the mansion vertically by maybe 30 or 40% since these tiles were too tall to fit in a staircase within a 1x2 tile. This really isn't noticeable except for the main grand staircase room where it's very obvious and unsettling. This will probably take some getting used to, but won't be anything that weird, to be honest. He shared a screenshot of the 2 large staircase rooms to show this, with this library tile showing that won't look too different, but you can see that the walkway is slightly lower than normal. The main entrance room, however, has a direct comparison, and while it might look a bit strange, it doesn't look too bad. It might, however, affect B and Jester trapping with the lowered railing. I might keep the old size for that tile, even though it means that tiles branching from the main room couldn't connect between the lower and upper floors. That's very rare anyways. However, it might feel nicer running between the different doorways when the main room doesn't feel as massive. The trade-off is that the tile's whole aesthetic purpose is to feel as grand as possible. This is kind of just Zika's being indecisive, so there's not much news here. But I think it would be better to have the main entrance be lower, to be honest, because having 2 dead ends connect vertically would make it feel much more like a mansion, if you know what I mean. It would just be cool. It'd be a lot more fleshed out. And even if it's not made that grand, it's still really cool to see when you walk in. So I'm chill with it, I'm chill. It also means that the library tile staircase feels much more natural and doesn't lead straight into the wall. It actually lines up with the nearby doorway. This was one of the things that made me decide to go through this sweeping change, as the scale of the library also just feels much more realistic while still being quite large. I don't have a comparison for this one though. This is true. It looks a lot more natural compared to the way the staircase was kind of shoved up against the bottom wall before. So that's nice. Adding 10 new tiles for every interior might be too ambitious for one update, so once I'm done with the mansion, I might release the first of 3 parts of this update. This is really interesting, not just because of the implications that it might be coming soon since progress on the mansion tiles is already looking really good, but also because he says that the update will be split into parts. Now, I think this is cool because, if he's releasing updates in sections rather than trying to unload all the content into one big update and then spamming loads of small patches onto the tail end of it, that's a good change, it makes it a lot better. It also provides me with more content to make, so that's for sure. Not sure if he'll still be sticking to the major format of major versions being multiples of 5, with V45, V50, V55, V60, because not sure if it would make sense with the structure anymore, but I don't care, and I'm hyped for the update. There probably won't be liquidation this update, but I don't mind about that either, because Zika seems to have gone back into adding like really cool and positive things, unlike some things that happened to release recently. And an interior update is something I've been wanting for a really long time, so it should be coming out soon, hopefully a few weeks. And until then, I'm gonna keep you guys posted. See you then.